Hey, welcome to At the Half with Eastern University Athletic Communications. I'm Dan Mouw. I'm hanging out today with Kyle Stramara. Hey. He is the Associate Head Men's Basketball Coach. That's a new job description. Actually, same job, but...
yeah, new description. It sounds good.
Yeah. Probably came with a huge pay raise, right?
Massive pay raise, yeah.
Yeah, probably not. But Anyway, we're super happy to have Kyle here. Kyle comes from an interesting background. I want to talk a little bit about his philosophy of coaching, and then a little bit about EU basketball, and then just a little bit about life. So first off, you've done some different things in coaching. What is coaching for you?
What is coaching for me? That's a good question. Let's see. Well, for me, it's just an opportunity to invest in young men's lives. That's kind of why I got into it in the first place. I was kind of an idiot growing up, so I had some really good men help me along the way to become a better person, and so that's kind of why I got into coaching. Those men impacted me, and I just want to be able to come alongside young men, help them figure out what this life is that we're living, why we're living it, and help them reach goals.
Kind of more specifically, can you put names on a couple of those men as you look at it? Yeah,
for sure. So one of the most impactful men for me, at least, was a guy, Chico Schloneker, with Push to Rock. He was a really big impact for me as far as my faith goes. Before that, it was a high school freshman coach, Billy Whalen. He kind of pulled me in his office when I was a freshman, making a lot of bad choices in high school, and kind of gave me the good news and how I could change myself a little bit. So he was super impactful in just getting me on the straight and narrow.
Okay. So you've spent a lot of time in prison.
I have, yeah.
Not incarcerated, but working in prison ministry.
That's true.
How has that impacted your life? Like as you came to do that, and what have you learned through that, and how has that changed your perspective on things?
Yeah. So a little background. It came about through a sports ministry that I worked for pretty heavily before I got here, and now I'm still involved in and oversee the prison ministry. But went in and was able to play a game I love and share about Jesus, which is super important to me. Through basketball, it's just a lot of fun to get in there and build relationships with guys from different backgrounds. It really taught me a lot about just how to love people well, where they're at specifically. These guys, a lot of them are really, really good dudes that have become a product of their environment, have made some bad choices that they do need to pay for, but ultimately at the end of the day, they're still humans, people that have an opportunity to change. So I guess my perspective has always been one of second chances, because I got some second and third and fourth chances. So that's always kind of been a philosophy for mine, but it was, I guess, reemphasized through doing that, just seeing the good in people.
That's great. As you look forward to basketball season, we've got some new guys and some old guys and some guys who have kind of been away and come back. Yeah. And what are you looking at for this new group coming in? What's the defining feature?
Yeah, we brought in a lot of athleticism. I think that was big. A lot of length. So obviously, had a really successful year last year. Went to the national tournament. Went up against a long Rochester team. So we walk in that gym, and usually teams will say a kid's 6'4" and he's really like 6'2". I felt like they were saying their kids were 6'4" and they were 6'7". They were long. And so that was the main focus this offseason, was let's get some versatile guys. In some of our defensive schemes, we need a little more length moving forward with the things that we want to do. I won't tell you what that is, but
it's a secret? Totally secret?
Not a secret. People will figure it out, but I'm not going to throw it out there yet. We're looking to be long, athletic, and versatile, so we accomplished that. And
that kind of matches up a little bit with some of the guys you have coming back.
Correct, for sure.
As you look at the group coming back, obviously Jerron is kind of the signature guy. He and Kay are the guys that kind of are going to set the tone a little bit.
For sure. Yep. So really excited about our returners. I think last year we had some of the best leadership we've ever had, and I think it's only going to get better with this group. So excited for them to step in this leadership role and teach these young guys about the culture that we've tried to build. When Coach Prusner came in and brought me in with him, culture was something that was really important to us and something that we wanted to build on and see us get success through, high character kids that, love the game of basketball. So.
Great. Just a couple last closing questions. You're putting some miles on the car.
I am. That's true.
What are you listening to these days?
Ooh, good question. So we are fostering a child, my wife and I, right now. So I've been listening to a book, The Connected Child, which has been impactful for me. My wife and I brought in a foster child about 2.5 months ago now. And it comes with its challenges, as you can imagine. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and then our foster child is 5. So a lot of this going on, bumping heads about, loving the same things and vying for our attention and stuff. So the book has been impactful and just having a good perspective on that. It's easy to forget that in the moment, some of the trauma and stuff that has taken place with our foster child. So the book's been good for me, for my wife. We're doing it together. So it's a good conversation piece. We're, making sure we're on the same page with parenting, which is super important, obviously, if you want to have a successful family. So. Okay,
and then my last question was going to be kind of on that. How are you able, as a college coach, to kind of balance your sense of goals and direction for what you're doing with your team, along with in your family? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's tough. There's not enough hours in the day, I would say. It's especially with me living in Lancaster, driving an hour in, an hour out. But the biggest thing is just making sure you're present where you're at. I think having been in ministry and doing what I've done, like, I've had to wear many hats. So it's just another situation where I'm wearing many hats. Just got to take one off and put one on and be in the moment when I'm there. So I do my best to try and separate work and home life where I can, but there is obviously, it weaves into it. It's a part of my life, it weaves into the fabric. So I just, would love to continue to bring my family around more. This is a family atmosphere, so that's always welcome, which is great. The guys love my kid. I'm excited for them to meet our foster child, and it's a very welcoming group. So.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good, not to put words in your mouth, but it's probably a good thing for you to model for your guys too, to be where your feet are and kind of be present in the moment for people.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it.
So, well, hey Kyle, thanks for spending a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to a great basketball season. Obviously, we've got a couple months until we start playing, but I know you guys are out there shooting and running around.
And we're not watching. We're not allowed, so we're not watching.
So you don't even know who's here, right?
We don't know who's good.
Okay, I'm sure. All right, thanks so much, Kyle.
Yeah, thank you.
Now back to your game.